Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ask the Expert session. Good morning, afternoon, or evening from whichever time zone you may be calling us in from today. My name is Rebecca Cronin, and I'm one of the Customer Success Managers here with the Altair Data Analytics team. Now, some of you might recognize my voice from participating within our onboarding sessions, or perhaps seen my name within the user community. The Customer Success team, we're here as another point of contact for you to reach out to at any time with any questions or concerns you may have regarding Altair solutions. And if you're unable to get a hold of your account manager, we can provide you that assistance. We also can assist you in getting access to our user community portal, as well as our Altair One portal. So if you haven't participated in the community, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a great location to allow you to collaborate with your fellow peers and our product experts. The ability to post some of the blog questions or even answer the discussions. It also contains some very helpful resources, some how-to video content, as well as KB articles. And if you have any questions regarding the community or our onboarding sessions, please feel free to reach out to the Customer Success team, which kind of brings me into some housekeeping. In the side control panel, you should see there is a handout section. It is a copy of today's PowerPoint presentation that you may download. Within this PowerPoint presentation, we do contain some helpful web links, such to our documentation, support portal, etc. You'll also see a question panel that you'll be able to submit your question to our experts and our panelists. Note that the question's only seen by us, it's not seen by the audience. So if there was a question you wanted to have addressed offline, then please make sure to put that in your comments. Otherwise, we're going to share that question with everyone that's in attendance today. So again, we're very excited that you're joining us today for our Ask the Expert. The idea is to be able to give you this open time slot where you could drop in, ask any questions you may have, as well as an opportunity to learn about a little different topic about Monarch or Monarch Server. So based on our poll question from our November session, the topic that was voted to review was the updated XML and JSON parsing capabilities within Monarch Complete. And just note, if you have any question, it does not have to be about today's topic. Like I said, you can ask anything around Monarch or Monarch Server, classic mode or GPS mode. If we don't get a chance to get to your question today, we will do so in a follow-up email. Allow us 3 to 5 business days. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our expert. Today, it is Abdolrahim. He's one of our senior professional services consultants. He's been with the organization for over 14+ years, providing our customers both on and off-site assistance with their project needs. You might have had the pleasure of working with him directly, or maybe even see his reply within the user community. So at this point, let me find Mo to make him the presenter, and we'll dive right into our starting topic today.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Share my screen. Okay.
And I see the blue background with the Monarch Data Prep Studio highlighted.
Perfect. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. So today's topic is around parsing data from XML or JSON. So I am also using Monarch Complete version 2024. And by the way, if you already installed Monarch Complete version 2024, I'm using 2024.1. So if you already installed 2024.0 and you are going to, and you need to install 2024.1, it just basically it overwrites to 2024.1 folder. So as you can see, I have 2024.0 Monarch installed on this server, and then I upgraded to 2024.1. So it's just overwrote that folder. And you can use Monarch Server, Monarch Complete version 2024.1 with Monarch Server 2024.1 for Automator.
Mo, excuse me, we don't see your Monarch, we just see the Windows desktop.
Right. So this is basically Monarch subfolder here. I haven't shown it yet. Okay.
Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. So basically, when you install, you see the classic data prep and all the programs that gets installed. So basically, I installed version 2024.1 64-bit, so it will be in this folder. Again, it will overwrite 2024.0 subfolder. Okay. So for today's demo, I prepared a few examples for XML, and these XMLs I just use our sample report, the classic PRN, basically the media report, and I export them to XML, as you can see, for different months, January, February, March, and you can see that basically this is the XML data. So I'm going to use these reports for the demo today using Monarch Data Prep Studio. Okay, so this is the Data Prep Studio 2024.1. So basically, in order to use an XML file, you can just click on Open Data and then click the Web category, and you can see either JSON or XML. So if I double click on XML, I can navigate to where the files are. So if you have multiple XML data of same XML structures but different data, you cannot select multiple XML. You have to just select one XML right in at this time. Okay, so I'm just going to select January.xml file. And this basically opens in XML Explorer, which you can just select the column. So you can see on top schema, but no data are shown here. So you just need to select the root option, and then you refresh it, and then the parser, XML parser, basically parses the data and displays the data in the preview. Okay. And you can see that in this example, there are 12 columns and 91 rows. So you can also select use simplified, which is in this case, simplified column names are selected. But if I uncheck this, then basically the parser just adds the root and then XLSNS to the file name, or actually root data to the file name. Okay, so I'm just going to use the simplified file name or column names, and this one also provides the encoding. By default is UTF-8 encoding is used, but if you have a different encoding, you can select a code page and select a different encoding through this code page. So Windows European, Windows 1252, it's a subset of UTA encoding, which also pretty much gives me the same data, but I'm just going to go with the UTF-8 encoding in this case, which is the default. And if you don't need any of these columns, you can uncheck. For example, I don't care about this first column. I can just uncheck it. So it will not be bring up to the Data Prep Studio, the prepare page. Okay, and then I just click OK. So the file is open in preview page in Data Prep. So you can actually, preview the data here. So there are several options in the preview that's worth mentioning. So one of them is the load option. So with the load option, you can select if your date format is different than month, day, Y, you can select a different date format, or this is how the dates are being parsed in Data Prep by date and then time, or time and then time. So if the column has date, time, and the format is different, you can choose this the load option and select one of these options here. If for European, they use, instead of period for amount, they use comma, so you can use comma instead of period. And another option is the limit, row limit. So if your XML has lots of records, maybe 20,000, 30,000, you can set a limit here. So it will only load, like, let's say you have an XML with 10,000 rows or records. So you can just set a limit of 1,000 rows or 20,000. So then only 20,000 rows will be loaded. So you can work with a smaller subset. But then when you export your table, then you can specify, you know, all the data will be exported. Then on this side, under the load option, again, you can see all your columns, and you can, again, if you select a column here, for example, I'm selecting account number, under statistics, it will show me the statistic for the column number. Okay, so I can sort the column, the account number statistic by account descending. So it will show me, you know, that in the order of the descending, or count them by ascending, or you know, you can just look at the, you know, value ascending or descending. So you can look at the statistic, and on the right side, it will just tell the, you know, the file size. And for example, for account number, if I want to know that what is the, obviously account number is a number in this case. So you can look at the statistic for account number. What is the minimum value? What is the maximum? What is the mean, sum, you know, etc. So if I was interested that what is the maximum number of contact names, so I would select contact name, and under a statistic, I can see that the maximum number of contact name is 18 characters, and the minimum is, you know, not 9 characters. So this is kind of useful in case if you're wondering what is the maximum number of certain, you know, data in a particular column. Okay, and so once you view this statistic, or maybe you also want to apply a filter. So for example, if I want just bring in for the media, I want to select, I like to select multiple selections, knowing that the media are not that many. So let's say I want to just select, you know, the CD and DVD, okay, and I want to just bring those data to the data set, so I can apply a filter here. So it only brings those you know, media to the data set. So once I you know, did some research in the preview, then you can click on open button to load the data set into the prepare page. So this is my data set. I usually call this data set. So I know this is like, I have a partially sick mouse. I have to replace my mouse. Just sometimes acts erratically. Okay. Okay, so again, the filter that I applied here, it shows under the change list. So if I change my mind and I want to just, you know, delete the filter, I can just delete the filter and just have all the data sets. So this is basically the data set that I loaded from one XML file. Now, since I have multiple XML files and I want to load multiple XML files, there are a couple methods to do that. One is you can basically click here and then select add file from local, either here, or you can just select the actual XML. I believe, let's see, no, there is, okay, there is a, so just over here, add file from local, and then you can select the, although I should be able to select multiple files, but because my mouse is kind of crazy today, just add files and then local. And so I brought in January, March, and then I select February. So again, you can select multiple files now and then add them to the data set. So I'm just going to select February and just add it. So this is how you can add multiple files. After you bring in one file, one XML file to Data Prep Studio, then you can bring additional files to your added to the data set. Another option would be just you know, drag and drop. You select, you know, your files and just drag and drop it, and just drag and drop it here. Okay. So that's the second method to add multiple XML files. So once you're loaded your XML files in Data Prep Studio the prepare page, then you can do the tasks that are tasks that are available in prepare page, such as creating, grouping, pivoting, unpivot, or filter, those kind of functionalities, or maybe create summaries and then export the data set to like maybe another format like Excel or delimited file. Okay. So that's, I mean, there's not much into loading XML files, is as long as it has a valid XML structures. The data prep has a nice XML parser as well as JSON parser that you can just use the options and load the data, your XML files, and bring it to Data Prep Studio, and then manipulate the data. For example, here, just a quick example. If let's say I want to find out what is the total amount for the for customers, each customer by media, I can just simply create a group that data set and group them by I said account number, contact name, and media. Okay, so I group them by account name, media, and then select amount. And if I want to also, because I have 3 months of data here, so if let's say I want to also group them by the month, so let's just undo this. Add them the month. I don't want that. And then account number, contact name, media, and then let's uncheck that, and then amount. And then for amount, I can just sum the amount for by month, contact name, and media. Okay. So that will just give me another table that will show me that, for example, for so this is 2010, like January. It's February. It's actually January month. For this customer, purchased 3 different type of media, and these are the total amount. The negative value, it means that the customer returned media in this case. Okay, so that is pretty much with the working with XML. So then I can just create an export and just export this data to a different format. Okay, so once I finish this, then I just make sure you just save your workspace periodically. So I'm going to save the workspace here. So I can prepare this workspace maybe for using with Automator. Okay. So when I'm done, just close the workspace, and that's pretty much it with the XML. The other data type that people requested is a JSON. So again, I have another data set folder for JSON. So I also created, again, these JSON files are created by Data Prep Studio. So basically, I loaded a PDF report, I built a model, and then I exported the data set for each month to a different JSON files. Okay, so these are basically the same data, but different format, JSON format. Okay, as again, you can see that basically XML or JSON are like a structured data type that has records, and these records are separated by the file format. Like in JSON, they are separated by curly braces, each record. XML has a different format, but the records are separated by different character, okay, for XML. So again, same thing, same deal as XML. You just open data, select web, double click on JSON, and then you navigate to where the JSON files are. Again, you cannot select multiple files here. You just have to select one file to bring it to the data prep first. With JSON, you can select either by row or by column, okay? Again, you have to select the root if you want to, see your data here. So if you select by expand, column expand arrays, so basically what that gives you, it gives you one row of all your columns. So let's say this has, I don't know how many, let me just see how many rows there are. Okay, so if I select by rows, so I get 91 rows by 11 columns. So if I select by columns, and I'm assuming that most people prefer by row expand arrays as opposed to column expand array, because if I choose by column expand arrays, what that does, it multiplies 11 by 91. Therefore, we end up with one row and 101 columns, which really doesn't look good. This has all the data as just one row, all the columns and rows in one column. So maybe some people prefer that this view, but I'm sure that most people prefer the row expand arrays, which gives me 11 rows in this case, and 7 rows and 11 columns. Okay, again, you can uncheck any columns that you don't want, and or you just click on the OK, and you are going. The data is available in preview. We have made significant improvement for JSON in the previous, I believe, version 2022. If you had a JSON files with like over 3,000 or 4,000 columns, the response time was very slow, and we had customers that complained about that, because they had a JSON with like thousands of columns, and if they wanted to do a calculated field for one of the columns, the response time was really slow, and they had to wait maybe a minute or two to just be able to add a calculated field. In the latest, not the latest, but I believe version 2023 upward, up to this version, we have made significant improvement in parsing JSON, particularly with the UI. When you go to prepare page, there has been significant improvement there. So now the JSON parses really fast, and if you have like several thousand columns, you can add a calculated field with, and the response time is very quick. Okay, so again, in preview here for JSON, the same deal as XML. You can set the row limit, okay, no limit, or set a limit of whatever you want to set the limit. Load options allows you to change the format of the decimal separator, the date, time. You can apply filter for columns or rows that you don't want to be loaded to the prepare page. You can also look at I didn't show this in the XML, but this is just a text viewer of your data. So you can also click here to look at the JSON in text viewer, and you can also see that in XML. Same deal as a statistic. If you select a column, you can see the statistic here. And once you view these options in prepare, then you can just click on open and just open the data in prepare page. Again, if you want to add additional files to your data set, then you can drag and drop. So I can select February and then March, drag and okay. So or you can just click on the drop down here next to the data set, add file, and then add it to your data set. Edit table basically just goes back to the JSON Explorer, and then you can uncheck columns or change the row expand arrays or column expand arrays, if you want to. Okay. So again, once the data when your JSON files are loaded in the prepare page, then you have the ability to manipulate data in prepare page, add in filters, summaries, things like that, or just create an export to different format. So for example, the date, I don't want this date to be in this format. I want to make it short date. Okay, and that just creates a change list here. And if I want to apply, I want to see I want to export the data just for CD and DVD, I can create a filter, a defined filter, and multiple select, and then CDs and DVDs. Okay, then just export results to different format. Okay, so let me save this. Basically, there's not much loading XML or JSON in the data prep, as long as they are well formed. JSON, the format, the file is well formed, or XML, the parser should be able to parse it and display the results in data prep. Okay. Now, although it is, I want to see if there are no questions here. Okay, I don't see any questions. So if you plan to use Automator and automate the JSON or XML, okay, you can leave your workspace that you work with JSON or XML with 3 files or 1 file or multiple files, really doesn't matter. When you plan to automate that, then in Automator you can specify a wildcard for JSON and then use it in Automator. Although my colleague Rebecca says there is a prereq questions. Is that regarding the JSON from SQL Server, Rebecca?
It's from a SQL table.
Right. So a user asked that they have JSON in SQL Server database table. Okay, and how they can basically use that JSON in SQL Server table. Well, again, one of the things you can, I don't believe I have, maybe I do. So basically, you can still use Data Prep Studio to connect to the database. For example, either using OLEDB or SQL Server. So let me see if I can find one. So my 2020 K SQL 22K, and okay. So I'm just going to use a Windows authentication to connect to SQL Server, load all the databases here. So let's see, I might have something in, I have to, I'm pointing to the Monarch Server 2024, and basically you can connect to the database and select a table that contains data JSON. So basically JSON, depends how JSON are saved. my colleague Steve said they stored as a blob. So basically, you can point to the table that has that JSON and just bring it as a record, one column that contains the JSON into data prep, and then export it to either the delimited file or maybe export it as JSON, and then load that JSON back into data prep, and then manipulate the data. So I think maybe Visual Process Log might have a JSON. Let me just scroll down and I gotta get a new mouse. This my mouse driving me crazy. Visual processes. Okay, log. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you notice that it looks like this log event contains JSON data. Okay, so if I just basically go to maybe uncheck, let's see. I just want the log event. Okay, again, it is opening that in preview. Okay, and then open it. So I have these data JSON, and again, maybe I can just export that to a JSON file. Okay, that looks I want to just put in that folder, override it, and okay. So once this is loaded, then obviously I can just go back here and save the workspace. Okay, and then close, and then go back and open the JSON file that I just exported and see what happens. Again, you select the root, and okay, so that's fine, and then open it. So there might be some that require some more manipulations here, because you have the data here maybe separated by curly braces or a square bracket, and or maybe this itself is a JSON by itself. So again, you can maybe export these individually to a file, each record, and then open it as a JSON to parse the data. Or maybe you can just use, I don't know what you need to extract from the JSON, but maybe you can split using a split function to parse data, like maybe the message or data and time, to pull the data from the JSON. Okay, so maybe we can maybe do another demo on this when we have some data, some time to research and investigate and see what's the best way to do this. Getting JSON from SQL Server and parse the data. So that's all I can add on this, and I don't see any questions so far. So I was just telling, since there's no questions, again, if you have multiple JSON or XML files, to do the automation, you don't have to remove your JSON files from your workspace. You can keep all your JSON files there. Okay, then you can just basically log into the Monarch Server version 2024.1 here, and you just log in. Then the first thing you need to do is load the workspace to server library. Okay, there are a couple ways to load. One way is this way. You can just upload it through the server library. You just click on the plus and browse. Then I'm just going to use the demo I did for JSON. So this is the one I just did today. I added to the group Altair, and we call this version 1 and JSON demo. Okay. You notice that you don't see any files here because it just doesn't see the files in the workspace. The other option to load is you can configure your data prep studio and go into within server, and on the Monarch Server library, you can specify basically just click here. So location is actually the server name or URL. So the URL I'm going to use is basically I need this URL, the server name followed by msadmin. Okay, so I'm just going to put in http:// ms2024-1 msadmin. Okay, and then I'm going to log in as admin password. Okay. So basically, if this is connected, your Monarch server is integrated with Active Directory with single sign-on, then you can choose this option. Okay. So once I click OK here, and then let's say I open the workspace that I created, just the JSON demo. Let me just close this and save. Oh, this is okay. I haven't saved this SQL JSON. Okay, and then close. So now I can just say click here, save. So once I built that, created that, configure here for Monarch Server, so I should be able to hover my mouse over Save Workspace and go here and save to a Monarch Server. So I can just click here, and that should connect to the Monarch Server, and you can either save them with no group. Basically, grouping is either you specify a grouping like folder, or no group. Basically, it won't assign to a folder. And by the way, since I connected here with admin account, I'm also connected here with admin account. This is going to time out. This is going to basically disconnect because I can only connect with one account to Monarch Server. So here I can just select Altair, and then it will show all the workspaces under that Altair group. So I can just select the one that's already there and save a new version. So this is going to create a new version. So I can call this version 2. All right, and then okay, upload it. So let me just close this, and again, this is going to disconnect because let me just end session here and then reconnect. So now if I go to server library and look at the workspace JSON demo, you can see that now it should be two revisions, the one that I uploaded through server library and the one that I uploaded through Data Prep Studio. Okay, and the visual process always uses the one on row one. Okay, whatever the workspace it is on row one, that's the one the visual process will use and ignore the rest. Okay, so to automate that, basically you just select a visual process, and you can select the blank template. And so if I right click here and enable auto connect, because sometimes this is useful. So I select auto connect and I double click on file input, because XML, basically you have to use file input for XML. Then I need to connect that to a workspace. So you notice that with choosing this option, it automatically connects that. And then Data Prep Studio, it also connects that to Data Prep Studio. So very simple workspace. Then you just, I have set up the name path that points to this folder. So I can select JSON, and obviously I have to basically, because I also have a couple JSONs here. If I select JSON and \asterisk.json, what happens is it also select these two JSON files too. But these two JSON files they are not designed to use with this workspace. Only these three: January, February, and March. So let me just quickly move this out of the way. Okay. So it should only select these three files because it got *.json. All right. Apply, and then next thing is to select a workspace. Again, since this is the workspace is configured under Altair group, so I just select the workspace, and then this is the data set table, and this is the current path, but I don't want to use that path. I want to use the path that's configured under file input. Okay, and I generally just set this, name this. So this is JSON, matches the file name. Then I want to just export that to, again, delimited file, but you have options with data prep. You can also export to like Oracle or SQL table using OLEDB or ODBC options, okay? And JSON output. Again, if the subfolder output doesn't exist here, it will create it. So when you select a subfolder in here, under this the selected subfolders here, make sure the folder shows up here. If nothing shows up here, the data will not be exported. Okay, so I'm selecting the subfolder JSON output, and I need to just specify a file name .csv. Okay, so it's going to overwrite the file. It will be a comma delimited file, and the text field will be enclosed in double quotes. So so that's pretty much it. You know, apply. Okay. And again, you can make these as you can schedule it to run at certain time. You can make it as a file monitoring. So if you set up a file monitoring, just make sure that you add a distribution here to basically move the input files or either move, delete, or rename the input files. Okay, so you cannot leave the input files in the current location if you select a monitoring process. Okay, so that's the required for monitoring jobs in Automator. All right, so I'm just going to just run this manually. And then once this is run successfully, then I can, schedule it or monitor it. Okay, so the job finished, and you notice that now it read 3 JSON files and applied the workspace, and then produced the output file with 223 records. So again, you can see that these are 3 input files that it processed and created the output file in output folder, which is at 1217. Okay, so basically this is the data that's extracted from the JSON files. All right, so I'm going to pause right here to see, and I don't see any questions. Not sure if any, if you have any questions, you want me to touch base on something else or something that I did, and you want me to just go over the material that I talk about it today. Just put your questions if you have any questions, please. So just remember, if you are using Monarch Complete version 2024.0, basically you should not use it with Automator version 2024.1. Because you can potentially break something in your visual process, because something may be new added in Monarch Complete 2024.1, which is not included in Automator version 2024.0. Okay, so you just make sure that if you're using Monarch Complete 2024.1 and you have an Automator, you should also upgrade your Automator to version 2024.1. Okay, but if you are using Monarch Complete version 2024.0 and you upgraded Monarch Server to version 2024.1, you should be fine. The client can be at the same level as the server or lower, but not higher. All right.
So Mo, while folks are thinking of questions, I want to launch the poll question before we lose folks. So my audience, if you see the poll, you may need to minimize in order to select the topic that you'd like to review come our 2025 session. So our choices are either DPS summaries in the Analyze window, validating accuracy of your extracted data, user security, SSO, and AD integration with Monarch Server. And then we have our other, which at the end of this webinar, there is a closing survey that's sent out, and you have a question that allows you to enter some comments. You can submit a future topic that we could add onto the voting pool. So again, if you can make your selection, I see we're about halfway there, so please select what's important for you that you'd like to review come our January 2025. We're almost there, about 80%. So I'll do a countdown. So to change your mind and pick your options, we'll count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so the topic that was selected that got the winning is the validating accuracy of extracted data. So we'll do that as our starting topic for 2025. And those other topics that weren't selected, we will keep them on there for January. So there was a question that just came in. It says, how do we get Automator Server upgraded to 2024.1? Typically, best practice is that we would connect you with your account manager and professional service team to do a scoping call to understand what your existing configuration is, and they would perform that recommendation and to where you can coordinate and then schedule. There would be a statement of work to be signed and agreed upon. So we can get you connected with your account manager if you want to have that discussion. And the scoping call is free, by the way. Or correct me if I'm wrong, Mo. Is that right?
No, yes, it is free. And then after the scoping call, we will send you the a hardware software requirement documents for 2024.1, as well as the download link for the Monarch Server 2024.1.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, that is something that you cannot download. Monarch Server software you cannot download from Altair One. You should be able to download Monarch Complete 2024.1 on from Altair One website.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason that if you do go to Marketplace, you'll see server. You won't have that option because best practice is that you can speak with our services team to ensure that you're going to meet the requirements to achieve what you're looking to accomplish. And so I know we got 7 minutes, so real quick, I'm going to take the screen just to show the closing deck, and then but still please enter your questions in the chat and we'll definitely answer them. So again, in that handouts panel, that section, it's a copy of today's PowerPoint. Again, you have our updated links. If you hadn't been to our community in a while, it has been updated. So there's a different support portal. You may need to update your display name within our community. Note when doing so, you'll have to keep that underscore. Before, I think you could have a space, but now you have to have like example Rebecca _ Cronin. Within there. The documentation, the e-learning links are within this handout that you can share with your colleagues. The link to our Ask the Expert, some helpful YouTube channels. There's some updated how-to video content material. I am working to get these webinars uploaded to the community and to the YouTube channel. So I thank you all for being very patient. This may be my Christmas vacation work to do. The new portal looks like this. Again, you could ask the community the question, or you can go right into the case management to track with our technical support team. The portal looks like this. When you do a search for any topics, add keywords. So Monarch being one of those key ones to make sure that you get the content, because Altair has several different solutions. Documentation is still the same. The Altair Exchange has the pre-existing models and workspaces. If you do a search, Monarch App Library System, that will take you right to here. Again, if you get this PowerPoint, you got the direct link there. Once you find the model or workspace you like to use, I always say 95% of the time we'll get you that template that you need. It's at 5% to tweak it to match your layout or perhaps the different data fields. The e-learning will take you to our Academy site, the learning site where you can go and sign up for Monarch courses. We have that certification course, earn your LinkedIn badge icon. And then you just find the course and you can start the course. So we'll go real quick. Marketplace, as we were mentioning, so you can see here, you have the download for the client, but the server, again, we connect it with your account manager and professional service team. If the organization is new to Monarch, we do offer complimentary onboarding. We kind of review how to trap that data. So our next session will be January 21st. We'll update that registration page. So right now you'll see December is the only last item. I'm hoping to see if I can get that page updated by December 24th. Otherwise, we'll definitely have it ready by January 3rd to go and register for the next upcoming 2025 Q1. So I know Mo had one more item, so let me make him presenter so he can share again.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. So one more thing I forgot to mention. So if you configure your Data Prep Studio to Monarch Server, and you would like to use a workspace that's already uploaded to the server library, you can also load that workspace in Data Prep and use it. So you just click here on after you launch Data Prep, on the top left corner, click on those three bars and then open workspace. If you configure your Monarch Server in Data Prep, you should be able to see these options. And if you have multiple, by the way, if you have multiple Monarch servers, let's say you have a dev environment, the production environment, the DR environment, so you can also add, those environments in Data Prep. So you should be able to just connect to Monarch Server with the account, and then you can select a workspace that's already in the no group or within the group and just load it into Data Prep. Basically, it just wants to save this file somewhere on your PC, maybe under document. You just save it, and then the workspace is loaded and is available, so you can just make some changes to the workspace, and then when you're done, you just then again save workspace, and then you can save it back into basically back to the Monarch server, and then you can add a different version. So I can just select here after I made changes, save new changes, new revision. This would be like revision version 3.0. All right. So, okay, I see.
There was one more question that came in. So it was asking about our Ask the Expert session. So the registration, we do it at a quarterly. So again, once I get that landing page up and ready, you'll be able to go and register for all the 3 sessions or 4 sessions that we offer per quarter. I'm putting that link again into the chat. If you're already on our mailing list, or if you'd like to be in our mailing list, if you just email me directly, I can make sure to add you to receive the reminder email that come and join us, and we can add you, and then you'll ensure to get that invitation notification of going to register in case you don't. In fact, maybe what I'll try to do is send out an email to say, hey, the registration page is ready to go. But you can select all the 3 sessions or more, and then you'll automatically get that reminder. But we do tend to send out a reminder email if you're on our mailing list. So if you're not on the list now, please let me know, and we can get you added when that occurs. The other trick is make a little block out on your calendar, as we are going to be regularly the 3rd Tuesday of the month between 11:30 and 12:30, so you can automatically block that out so you can be here to join us. And so we're right on the money. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us. Wishing you a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year's. Altair U.S. offices will be closed on December 25th until January 1st. But don't worry, support is there available if something was to arise. Mo, thank you, and everyone have a great holiday and the remainder of your day.
Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, everybody, and happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.